Quick little video on how to create a background in Blender, quick and easy. Let's say you got a model, something like this, and you need a background for it. So let's create one. First thing you want to do is hit Shift A. So you get this menu to add new geometry. We use a plane for this one. So select the plane. Once you got this and it's active, hit Tab to get into edit mode. Make sure you use the select box right now. If you don't see this menu here, you can hit T and show this one or hide this one. Okay, click anywhere else in the on the screen and use the edge select down here. Select the edge. What you're gonna do now is hit E to extrude. So now it extrudes in every direction. We only want it to extrude to the top. So press Z. It's only on the Z axis. Something like this. Left click and lock it in. What we're gonna do now is make this here a little bit smoother. So select this edge over here. Hit Ctrl B for the bevel, and we create something like this. Left click. Ctrl B again. Make something like this. Okay. So once you're done with this, you can hit Tab again to get into object mode again. Right click on this object, shade smooth. And you got something like this. This is basically the form we need for this. Depending on your render, you need a smoother background. So let's make this a little bit smoother. You can add the modifier, the subdivision surface modifier, and give it like 3. Sounds good. You maybe don't want these round ends and over here. So let's get rid of those. Hit Tab again, get into edit mode. You can select the loop cut tool and place another loop around here. Once you did this, you can press G to move it around. G and Z, bring it really close over here, and the same we are going to do on the bottom. Place it here, press G, hit Y so it only is on the Y axis. Bring it also very close to there, and hit Tab again, get out of the edit mode, back to object mode, and this looks good. Okay, make the model visible again, and this is what we got right now. Okay, maybe you want to expand this down here a little bit. So you can use the select box, select this, press G, hit Ctrl, and expand it a little bit. Okay, let's give this background a color. So select the background. I switch over to my material tab. Here I got the viewport open and the material node editor. And then we're gonna click on new to create a new material. First thing we're gonna need is the color ramp. Hit Shift A, press on search and type in color ramp. We're gonna plug the color into the base color. We also need a mapping node, so hit Ctrl T. Delete the image texture with X and plug the vector into the factor. If you can't use the Ctrl T shortcut, you probably don't got the Node Wrangler enabled. If you need this one, you can go to Edit, Preferences, go over to Add-ons, search for Wrangler, and activate the Node Wrangler. And then you can use Ctrl T to create the mapping and the texture coordinates with Ctrl T. Okay, we need another node. Hit Shift A, type search and search for gradient, and we plug in the gradient, and now you can control with the color ramp where the gradient is positioned, or in this case how sharp the gradient is. So let's give this a color, something like this. Let's go into orange here. Okay, if you want to control the gradient, you can use the mapping node over here. And let's say we want a gradient from top to bottom. You can type in 90 degrees on the z-axis for the rotation and control where the gradient is positioned with the location on the x-axis. So let's do it something like this. Okay, let's make this scene a little bit more interesting. We are going to add some lights. Hit Shift A, search for lights down here. Use the area light, bring it on top of it, maybe make it a little bit smaller, give it a power of 50. And we're gonna decrease the spread to like something like 40. Go to the top view, hit Shift D to duplicate the light, place it on the side here, for example. Get to the front view, hit R for rotation. With G you can move it around and give this a spread for 180. Oh, let's make it 130. And the power of 30. Maybe scale this up a little. Oh no, we leave it like this. Okay. I think I want to bring the light that comes from the outside a little bit down. So we're gonna add a plane. Get it to the front view, hit R and 90. G to move it around. Place it here, hit Shift D, place it on the other side, Shift D to duplicate this one again, front view, hit R and 90, G to move it around, and we place it on top, so we got a little less light coming in from the outside. And maybe I want this for the front too. Okay, we duplicate this one again. Get into the top view, hit R and 90, press G to move it around. So now we got this one in front of the camera, and we don't want to see this one in the camera, so we get over to the object properties and make it not visible for the camera here. So we get the shadows and everything, but the object itself is not visible there. Yeah, you can play around with the position here. Maybe bring this a little bit closer to the camera. And I think something like this looks actually kind of cool. Okay. So let's say you want to move the object, but you want to keep everything else in place. So like the background, the lights and the camera should all be in the same position, and you just want to move the object around. What you can do is create a new empty, hit Shift A, empty. You can use the plane axis, for example. This is just a point where we rotate everything around. So what you're going to do now is select everything, camera, lights and the background, and the last thing you want to select is the empty. Right click parent and then hit object. So everything is now in parented to the empty. And we can go to the top view now, select the empty and rotate everything so everything stays in place, like the lights and the background, but the object moves around. This is another cool trick if you want to keep like everything in place. And we can choose the position where we're gonna show the object. Yeah. Okay, that's it for the video. If you like this one, give it a like and stay safe, bruv.